Welcome to the Franchising 360 Show, the only show that takes you inside the world of franchising, with hosts Tim Parmeter and Danielle Wright.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the Franchising 360 Show. I am Tim Parmeter, and alongside me, as always, is Danielle Wright.
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Here on the Franchising 360 Show, we are going to take a 360-degree view of the franchising industry. We're going to learn all the things you need to know to determine if you should own a franchise. If so, which is the best one, how to be successful once you're a franchise owner, and even maybe take that existing business of yours and turn it into a franchise at some point. All of those things, and we've got a guest joining us here in a little bit, and the guest is a franchise owner. I think these are always my favorite people to talk to.
Yeah, I'm sure our guest loves to be in the camera, but I think our viewers appreciate hearing the day in the life of someone besides us. Besides us,
and there's other crazy franchise people that are getting paid to talk. Hers is going to be a real life experience of what it means to own a franchise. The
joys of us being in Dallas, filming this show, there's a whole bunch of franchise owners here. Like, we came in today and we visited a franchise.
We did, yes.
If people don't watch this, there's a great social feed that we have that's like our franchises in the wild. So,
yes. And I don't know, does that lead into any sort of what I really like at the beginning segment is
because you don't have to talk.
Because I don't have to talk is our franchise fun fact.
I've got a couple of them.
Ooh, so it's facts.
There are multiple facts, but I'm going to choose one.
Okay, let's go with one.
Are you ready?
Yes.
And so we were watching National Treasure.
Yeah, oh yes.
So we kind of love that movie. We like the history stuff. So this is a history thing, and it's not a question per se, more of an actual fact. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Did you know that franchising isn't really a negative word?
Yes.
You did know that.
I did not know that 12 years ago. I know that now.
Okay, but why do you feel like it's not a negative word?
Because I sort of understand it at this point, but it always felt negative before I got into the industry.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my notes here and tell you the reason why it's not negative, and it's not because Tim Parmeter says it's not.
Okay, that's not a bad reason, but let's get a better one.
Okay. The word franchise comes from the old French word franchir.
Oui, oui.
Or franchir, or however we pronounce that. I'm sorry, I'm not French. I did not pronounce it correctly. Which literally means to free.
Oh.
Ready? So the term is historically used to describe granting rights and powers to those who have had none. So at its core, franchising has always been about liberation, giving everyday people access to opportunity that they wouldn't have had.
I love that fact, and I love it even more because I wonder if it's going to come into play with our guest who is going to be joining us.
I did a great job, right?
Right
there, I had all of these things. Okay.
Yes, so love it. So it's not a bad word, and we're going to hear about some of the freeing and liberation that one can have as a franchise owner when we come back here on the Franchising 360 Show. Hey, we are back on the Franchising 360 Show. I'm Tim Parmeter alongside, literally and figuratively, Danielle Wright.
Very close.
And joining us today, we're excited. Always, like everybody we talk to in franchising, as we take this 360-degree view of the industry, love talking to owners. And so we have a franchise owner to talk to us today. We have Gloria Garcia. She is the owner of Pink Zebra Moving. Gloria, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
It was a long drive for her to get here.
Yes. And we should say Pink Zebra of Plano, Texas.
Yes, yes.
And we are in year one, which is also going to be exciting. So we want to hear, how's that going?
Yeah.
You still have hair, so you haven't pulled it all out in clumps,
yes,
so that's a good thing.
I'm okay.
Good. Give us a little, your background, just who the heck is Gloria?
Yes. Well, Gloria Garcia. wife, mother of 3 girls.
Sorry.
Very busy stage of life. The girls are turning 9, 14, and 15, so just very, very busy, starting a new business. So in year 1, but it's been exciting. This July, we're coming up a year since we opened our location, and it's been quite the adventure. So, yes.
So married, three kids, not just 3 kids, 3 girls, bless you.
I have 1 and that's enough.
The the time, that would think all of that alone is enough to scare you off. What was it that kind of really said, just not so much pink zebra, but why own a business?
Oh, well, gosh, so many reasons. I mean, first and foremost, and I think for most people who own a business, right, it's an honorable reason, is to provide for your family, right, to also just build something of your own, create some generational wealth, all those things matter, and so, that was kind of first and foremost. My husband and I were just ready to just kind of embark on our own journey, do something together, combine our strengths, right, figure out what's our passion, where are we going, how do we see our life in the next 5, 10, 15 years, and so it was just a perfect stage in our lives. Our girls are not too little, and so it's just a good timing for us overall.
So your story doesn't start here in Texas. So take us back. What? Yeah. Where were we? Where are we? You're talking about where you were going, but where were we that we needed to go somewhere?
Yes. Well, my husband and I originally met here in Dallas. Okay. I moved here in 2008. And then after we got married, had our first 2 girls, then we moved to Mexico and we lived there for 6 years, which was a whole adventure. It was just a beautiful season of our lives. A lot of growth, a lot of, our family grew. Our 3rd girl was born out there. My husband was involved in his family's aloe vera business out there, just in the operation, something that he always dreamed of doing, the family business, just being out in the fields, working with people. We were also very involved in local church ministry there. And we just loved our season there, different way of life for sure. And we come back in July of 2021.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. So right on the coattails of kind of COVID.
So when you come here, something bad happens. 2008, right? We got that. And then it's COVID. So, okay.
I'm glad we missed Alaska. That was the year of Alaska, right? So we come back that fall, jump right into finding schools for the girls. They'd never done school here. So it's just a lot of new things, when the house market was crazy, it was just a complete restart for our family. Yes. So
congratulations.
Yes.
Looks like you made it through.
Yes.
So you get back here and then you start all the reasons kind of why to start looking at this, and then you end up on Pink Zebra Movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
yes. So it was,
why?
Well, so when we moved back, it was kind of a job hunt for my husband. I was still working for the same company I've worked for years. But Jesse was kind of looking for some. So anyways, he wound up as a general manager for a moving company in Dallas and worked there for several years. And then that chapter ended at the end of 2024. And it was but that whole previous year, since earlier that year, he had talked so much about what's our, we need to do something together. We need to do something together. We need to, do something for ourselves. And so, and I was like, okay, but what is that? Please tell me.
This crystal ball that I didn't realize you had. Let me have a piece of that.
Right. And so then again, the chapter at the moving company where he was before ended in November of 2024, and it was back to the drawing board. And through the help of a career coach was the one who encouraged them to look at franchising. He's like, have you ever thought about franchising? Since you want to do something, you want to own a business, but you don't know exactly what. And so he suggested several service based companies. But it was Jesse who found Pink Zebra Moving, just, Googling online. He's like, you know what? I realized that I really do love the moving industry. It can beat you down though. Yeah. And if the culture of where you're working, the company, and it starts from the top, if the culture is not healthy or whatever, it can really burn you out. But he's like, but I love it. I love the operation. I love, the service aspect of it. And so when we found Pink Zebra Moving and kind of did some research, research and looked into what it was about and the heart and mission behind it, it just really resonated with what was already kind of, in us, it just, we make moving fun. that's the motto. But it's also just the excellence. It's all about the experience, right? Creating a great experience for people. And we see that that's the way of serving people in a very excellent, way that it's more than just a transaction, right? You're doing something good. Even if it's just encapsulated in a moment, but you're changing somebody's life for the better, by providing them a great experience that they might not otherwise, get.
When you said moving is fun, I'm like, moving has never once been fun for me, and I've done it so many times. But perhaps it's because I did not use you and Pink Zebra moving.
Exactly.
Because it's a stressful, incredibly stressful time for people. Yeah. Right? And you're trying to take a good chunk of that off of their plate.
Exactly.
And not have to worry about
Take a chunk. That's a good way to put it, because you can't eliminate it. No. You can't eliminate the stress. You can't eliminate there's different reasons why people move. Sometimes it's a happy reason, you're upgrading your dream home, your family grew. Other times there's loss, there's divorce, there's very just sad, stressful situations, going on, and we can't eliminate it, but we can make it at least better. We can make it easier, the whole transition, by offering support, by showing care, empathy, and just, holding people's hands, because a lot of people, they don't know what to do. Like, where do you start, Yeah,
you literally put in your head, well, how much of this can I put into my car? And then how many times can I drive back and forth? Yeah. And that's if it's a local move. Like, if you're moving here, we're in DFW, you're moving from one side of Dallas to like Fort Worth. That's not just a, hey, let me pop my stuff in my car.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing. I love the moving industry. I worked with a franchise early on in my career that was in moving. Okay. And it's definitely, we talk a lot about the stress component. If you can just remove that one little piece, you're still going to have this whole thing. But it is labor intensive. It is, there are trucks involved. There are things involved. Yes. I mean, we're going to get into all of that, I hope, because it's a fun business, but it's also a big business. So how did you guys kind of, one truck, your husband, like how did that all?
Yeah, well, we're all hands on deck right now. Because, it is he and I, operating it. I'm talking to people on the phone. He is, he's doing on-site visits and, dispatching the guys, like the whole 9 yards, which I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's almost like you have to get in deep. You have to understand your business so that you can also later, obviously we're going to scale. We're going to have an operations manager. We're going to have a sales team. We're going to have all those things. But I think it's, as a business owner, you first have to really understand your business. Otherwise, how are you going to multiply yourself in that way and find the right people?
I love that.
No, same. And want to get more into the...
Stop taking my words. I love that.
We're going to also talk about what it's like to work with your spouse, because that sometimes has its also challenges. But we're going to be back with Gloria Garcia, owner of Pink Zebra Moving, right after this on the Franchising 360 show. Hey folks, we are back on the Franchising 360 show. Tim Parmeter with Danielle Wright, who during the break we re-acknowledged that we are married to each other, I guess, as it turns out. And we were with...
We don't lead with it, it's fine.
Gloria Garcia, owner of Pink Zebra Moving. And that came up because, Gloria, you are also running this business with your spouse.
Yes.
He wasn't allowed to come here today. He's forced to work. You're coming to have fun with us, doing all of this. So you're in your first year still, and you're probably not going to say this, but we sort of talk behind your back with the franchisor. They are speaking volumes of you guys, how well you were doing, what great owners you are. But what's it really been like at the beginning?
Well, I'm going to be really honest. In the beginning, when Jesse first brought up the idea, again, I have my job, and I was like, well, I'm so happy for you that you found something that, and he's like, but we're going to do this together. In our business plan, he wrote out how I'm going to be like key in like networking, this and that. And I was like, I've never done that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it's almost like he prophesied it. It's like prophecy because it's become that, you know, and it's something that I too have become very passionate about. And I love what we're doing together. It was a huge learning curve for me because I don't have a moving industry background. I do have, you know, operations management, customer service background, all those sales.
Which is exactly what you're doing, right?
Right. Yeah. So obviously all of that has come into handy, but moving per se, there's a lot of, you know, terminology, different specifics,
nuances,
right? Nuances, and but he was a pro. So that has helped us, I think, move forward much just smoother, you know, smoothly.
Okay. So how is the franchise live? So you go through a discovery process and you decide that this is the brand you're going to move forward with. Mm-hmm. How has the support kind of equaled what they said they were? Because in the beginning, right, everyone's like, I'm selling you on, you need to own this.
Yes.
How is that matched since you guys started?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, they were very supportive. They're a great team there. We really love the corporate team. Everybody that, you know, that's there. We really do appreciate them and just the heart that they have too for what they're doing. And so, yeah, their support came, you know, has been great, you know, from the beginning. Now, again, though, the fact that Jesse already had that movie, I don't know what it would be like for somebody who didn't have any previous moving experience, which I know some franchisors, some owners, that's their reality.
Right.
So I would imagine that would be a lot more tough. I would feel like they would need a lot more, you know, assistance, I guess. Have so many more doubts and questions. Right. Yeah. So they would like, you know, lifeline to corporate. I don't know, you know, but mine was like more so to like Jesse. And then from time to time, you know, I would like also reach out to somebody on the team. But
you in some ways you had the ease of having a husband with the background in there, right? But it sounds like you would have felt comfortable reaching out to whoever on that as well.
Oh yeah,
right? So,
for sure. Yeah.
And then your background now is kind of rolled into, we're talking about like, you know, the operations and the logistics and the sales and the customer service, kind of what this business is really all about, right?
It's what it's all about. It's people.
Yeah.
You just happen to be doing moving. So you had said something during the break that I want to hit on for some of the viewers, right? Since we talk a lot about business ownership and jumping in and doing something for yourself, but you had mentioned generational wealth. Kind of walk us through what your thoughts are. Are the girls involved in the business? Is there like a line to saying, hey, one day you all are going to own this moving company?
Well,
what's your thoughts?
I mean, I want them to go after their dreams. I just hope that we are inspiring them in some way, that they see our grit and our hard work, our sacrifice, and that motivates them. My oldest two are going to high school in the fall, and they've both expressed like wanting to go into business. So yeah, we try to involve them. You know, they're not always as keen, you know, to help us do things in the office.
Not going to pack boxes or load a moving truck, even though that's probably a good idea.
They can at least sport some pink zebra gear, right?
Yeah, and then they see me kind of going out there doing things. They see my videos, they're like, "Hey, mom, baddie," you know. So it's like, okay, you know, I like getting that from time to time.
It reminds you like they're like connected with you, like, oh, look at our mom, how great.
And it's my son has grown up only knowing me as a business owner, and yours mostly. The same thing. It's like you don't realize how much it rubs off on them and how much that they see, and that they see that there is a path, that there's nothing wrong with going to college, getting a degree and getting a job and doing all of that. But I think you are showing your girls, right, like some serious mom power, that they can do whatever the heck they want.
Exactly.
And that's really cool.
Exactly.
And doing it with a partner, right?
Yeah.
So he's not just your husband, he's now like my business partner and my future partner. And so how do you guys kind of stay grounded in, hey, it's us first, and then it's all of these other things?
Yeah, well, in all honesty, in a lot of ways, it's not entirely new for us.
Okay.
I mean, having a business together, running a business together is, But I mean, we've been a team now, 16 years, in life, in parenthood, in ministry, and so many things. And so we just have each other's backs, I mean, and we both bring different perspectives and strengths to the table, and I really feel like we make up for the things that, the things that I am not as strong in. Thankfully, Jesse's, stronger at, and vice versa. So
there's a couple out there sitting on the couch watching this right now and like, geez, honey, I don't know. Can we be in business? What's some advice for somebody, like a couple that's thinking, how do they get in and do this together? And I'm going to take some notes so maybe we can learn something as well.
Sure.
Well, I think the first thing is the why.
Okay.
Love that.
Why are you going to do what you're going to do? Because if you don't have the why, if that's not clear, then it's going to be a struggle bus, as it is. It's hard, no matter what. I mean, I'm not going to say, pretend like there hasn't been challenges and stresses. But I'm so thankful that I can count on Jesse. He's more like the constant. He's like super optimistic. He never loses his joy. And so it's like, that's really helped me, in the process. But the why is important. Why are we going to do this? Is it just for money, or is it just, or is there something deeper, a more purpose, the purpose behind it?
Yeah, which sounds like you guys have a good combination of like, look, we all want to make money, but if you don't enjoy what you're getting up and doing every day, and your why when you think of those three girls, of how do you help provide for them, and I'm sure it's probably taking you away from some things, but also giving you some more flexibility with them.
Yes, and that's the struggle, right? That it's like there's no such thing as like a perfect balance. Like, it's like when you're in the beginnings of starting a business, I mean, your sacrifice, your time, everything is like here. So other things are naturally going to be here. You can never and equal. I think that's where people get stuck sometimes, and they get overwhelmed and burnt out because you're trying to force that, like this perfect balance, and you just can't. It's just, but I'm just confident that, there'll be a day where we'll have a bigger team, and, I'm going to have some more flexibility and maybe like more time over here, and things like that.
I'm guessing the good thing is that you're in control of what that balance is and what that growth is going to be for you guys long term versus relying on somebody else, right?
Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
You use the operative word, control.
Control. Well, and you said it again, like, don't think there's not going to be a clip that's posted of you saying like, hey, it's the why, because it really is what drives all of this. And so last thing I want to throw at you is again, like, would you do it all over again?
Oh, I hate this question.
I know. And I really changed right there at the end because I know you hate this.
I really hate this question.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Thank you.
And the answer is yes, absolutely. I would do it over again. And I mean, I think the temptation might be to say, well, I wish we would have done it sooner, but I don't think so. Like, I think everything that happened or transpired in our lives leading up to that point was super important to get us to that point, and it was just the perfect moment.
I love that. So, I like that answer.
Yes.
Well, because I think there's a lot of faith in, I've been put in the places where I'm at, and I have to take those lessons. And if I didn't have those lessons, I wouldn't be able to apply them as it sits. And so there's we talk about all the time, like, is a younger generation going to buy into franchising because they just don't have the same experiences that people at other stages. And so I think just where you are is great.
No, and you said well, I wish I would have done it sooner. We hear that all of the time. I'm like, no, you did it when it was the right time, and you guys have done it.
Exactly.
And look forward to seeing you, like, you guys to continue to grow and like dominate all of DFW.
Have you back in a year, and now you have the whole market, and there's 15 zillion pink zebra trucks out there.
Exactly.
We'll sport some pink because I like some pink, so let's go.
There we go. So
you better believe it.
Gloria Garcia, owner of Pink Zebra Moving, here on the Franchising 360 Show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again for watching the Franchising 360 Show, brought to you by Fran Coach. Danielle and I hope these episodes continue to educate you on the franchise industry. In between our episodes, if you would like to learn more about franchising and the ways in which Fran Coach can help, there are a few places you should check out. First, be sure to listen to the award-winning Franchising 101 podcast. You can find this on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Next, check out the Fran Coach YouTube channel, Fran Coach for You. You can catch past episodes of the Franchising 360 show, plus tons of other content. If you like to read, we encourage you to check out the book, Becoming a Franchise Owner. And finally, when you are ready to take that first personalized step and explore franchise industry further, please reach out to our amazing team at Fran Coach. There is never any fee for our service, so let us help you create your better tomorrow. Until next week, for Danielle Wright, I'm Tim Parmeter. Thanks for tuning in to the Franchising 360 show.